In a packed courtroom buzzing with quiet murmurs and curious eyes, a judge known for his sharp tongue and quick judgments was about to meet his match. Everyone expected this day to be just another routine hearing, but no one could have guessed what was about to unfold. The judge, confident and a bit dismissive, glanced over at the woman standing before him, a simple, unassuming figure in plain clothes. To him, she looked like just another ordinary person, someone easy to overlook, maybe even humiliate for daring to challenge the court. But what happened next shocked everyone. This woman, calm and composed, was no ordinary person at all. Beneath her modest appearance was a mind sharp enough to catch even the most experienced legal minds off guard. The judge, expecting a weak and flustered defendant, soon found himself facing a legal genius, someone who could twist the law with such precision that the entire courtroom fell silent in disbelief. As the story unfolds, you'll see how this unexpected encounter turns the courtroom drama upside down. It's a tale of justice, wit, and unexpected strength, where appearances deceive and true intelligence shines through. The judge's attempt to humiliate this woman only opened the door to an incredible revelation, one that would challenge his own beliefs and change the course of the case forever. But what exactly did this woman say that left the judge speechless? How did she turn the tables so completely? Stay with me, because the next part will reveal the shocking truth behind her brilliant defense, and you won't want to miss a second of it. The courtroom fell into a heavy silence as the woman took a deep breath and began to speak. No one had expected her to stand so confidently, her voice steady and clear despite the intimidating surroundings. She was far from the nervous, simple figure the judge had imagined. But who was she really? That question hung in the air, adding to the tension in the room. As the hearing went on, bits of her story started to surface. She wasn't just an ordinary person caught in an unusual case. She had a history that few knew about. Years ago, she had studied law in secret, teaching herself from old books and court records, because life hadn't given her the chance to go to law school like others. Despite all odds, she had become an expert on legal loopholes and courtroom strategies, skills that were now shining through in this very moment. The judge, who had expected to dismiss her quickly, found himself tangled in her arguments. Each point she made was precise and backed by real law, and it slowly became clear she knew more about the case and about justice than anyone had anticipated. The people in the courtroom leaned forward, watching the battle unfold between the judge's authority and her unexpected brilliance. Yet, behind her calm exterior, there was more to the story, a secret motivation driving her determination. What was at stake for this woman? Why had she chosen this moment to reveal her knowledge? And how would the judge respond when the full truth came to light? The tension grew thicker, the mystery deeper. This was no ordinary trial, and the outcome was far from certain. As the courtroom held its breath, one thing was clear. This woman was about to change everything. But the question remained, how far would she go to win? As the case unfolded, it became clear that this wasn't just about the woman's legal knowledge. It was about something much bigger. The judge, once confident in his control over the courtroom, now faced an unexpected challenge. The woman's calm yet relentless approach started to expose cracks in the very foundation of the case. What had seemed like a simple dispute was slowly revealing layers of complexity, and the judge's usual authority was tested like never before. Meanwhile, whispers began spreading among the spectators. Some saw the woman as a symbol of hope, a reminder that anyone, no matter their background, could stand up to powerful institutions. Others, especially some of the more traditional lawyers in the room, exchanged skeptical glances. Could someone without formal training really outsmart the system? The courtroom became a stage for more than just legal arguments. It was a clash between old rules and new possibilities. On the judge's side, there was growing frustration. His sharp questions turned sharper, trying to trip the woman up, but she met each challenge with steady reasoning. Behind his stern exterior, he started wondering if his initial judgment had been too harsh, if there was more to this woman's story than he'd realized. At the same time, The woman's motivation remained a mystery. Was this case personal? Was there a hidden injustice she was trying to correct? Those who watched closely noticed subtle hints, moments when her voice softened, when her eyes flickered with a mix of pain and determination. It was clear that this wasn't just about winning a legal battle, it was about something deeper, something that made the stakes incredibly high. With every exchange, the courtroom tension grew. No one knew how far the judge would go to keep control or how far the woman would push to prove her truth. The conflict was far from over, and the final outcome still hung in the balance. The courtroom atmosphere grew thick with anticipation as the hearing moved closer to its most critical moments. Every word spoken, every glance exchanged, seemed to carry more weight than before. The judge's eyes narrowed, his usual confidence now tinged with a hint of uncertainty. The woman's quiet determination had shifted the balance, and he could feel it slipping through his fingers like sand. She began to reveal documents and references that no one had expected, old cases, obscure laws, and legal precedents that challenged the very basis of the judge's assumptions. The courtroom gasped at some of her points, while others sat in stunned silence, trying to absorb what they were hearing. It wasn't just the complexity of her knowledge. It was the way she presented it, calm but firm, making everyone rethink what they thought they knew about the case. The judge's attempts to regain control became sharper, even tense. He questioned her credibility and motives, pushing harder than before, but each time she responded with clear, unshakable logic. The room seemed to hold its breath, caught between the judge's authority and the woman's undeniable expertise. It was as if the entire legal system was on trial in this small courtroom. Outside, whispers of the case were spreading, some people calling it a David versus Goliath battle, others wondering if this woman was about to expose a bigger truth hidden beneath the surface. The pressure mounted not only on the judge and the woman, but on everyone involved. As the hearing reached its peak, the judge prepared to deliver a final challenge, a question designed to trap her, to break her composure once and for all. The woman stood silently for a moment, then looked directly at him. What she said next would change everything, but no one was ready for what came next. The courtroom held a breathless silence as the woman's calm gaze met the judge's sharp question. Then, just as everyone expected her to stumble, she dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the room. She revealed that she wasn't just a self-taught legal expert. She had once worked undercover within the very system that the judge represented. Her knowledge didn't come from books alone. It came from first-hand experience, from seeing how the law could be twisted to serve those in power. This revelation shifted the entire atmosphere. The judge's expression faltered for a moment, caught off guard by the unexpected twist. The courtroom buzzed with whispered speculation. How could someone so seemingly ordinary have such deep roots in the legal world? And why had she hidden this part of her past until now? But the surprise didn't end there. She went on to expose evidence, suggesting that key players involved in the case had been hiding important facts that could turn the verdict on its head. Suddenly, what was thought to be a simple dispute was exposed as a tangled web of deceit, manipulation, and hidden agendas. The judge found himself struggling to maintain control as the stakes rose higher than anyone could have imagined. What began as an attempt to humiliate a simple woman had spiraled into a high-stakes battle over truth and justice, with reputations and careers hanging in the balance. The woman's courage to stand up and speak the truth threatened to unravel more than just this case. As the courtroom braced for what was coming next, tension crackled in the air. The judge was forced to reconsider everything he thought he knew, not just about the case, but about justice itself. The climax was drawing near, but no one could predict how it would end. The courtroom was electric as the woman prepared to deliver her final argument. The judge, visibly shaken but trying to maintain his composure, listened intently. She laid out the full truth with clarity and strength, connecting every piece of evidence and legal point she had uncovered. The hidden agendas, the attempts to manipulate the case, and the judge's initial underestimation of her all came together in a powerful conclusion. For the first time, the judge admitted aloud that he had been wrong to dismiss her. The courtroom murmured in surprise as the woman, once seen as simple and powerless, became the undeniable force of justice in the room. Her deep knowledge, courage, and perseverance had turned the entire case around. It was a moment that challenged the very idea of authority and justice, reminding everyone present that true legal genius isn't about titles or appearances, it's about truth. But just as it seemed the case was resolved, the woman paused. With a subtle smile, she revealed one last piece of information, a secret that no one had expected. The judge's own decisions, the cases he had ruled on for years, had been influenced by the same hidden corruption she uncovered in this trial. This wasn't just a single case. It was a mirror reflecting a much larger problem within the legal system itself. The judge's face went pale, and the courtroom gasped. This revelation shook the foundation of trust in the courtroom, raising questions far beyond the original dispute. The woman's quiet triumph became a call for deeper change, leaving everyone to wonder what would come next. As the gavel finally fell, the story ended not with a simple victory, but with a powerful reminder. Justice is never easy, and sometimes the most unexpected voices are the ones that change everything. The courtroom slowly began to settle after the shock of the woman's final revelation. The judge, now humbled, took a moment to reflect on everything that had just happened. What started as an attempt to humiliate a simple woman had turned into a lesson about humility, truth, and the true meaning of justice. The case itself was over, but its impact would linger far beyond the walls of that courtroom. The woman's quiet strength and brilliant mind had not only uncovered hidden corruption, but had also inspired those watching to question the system and their own assumptions. She had proven that intelligence and courage come in many forms, and that no one should ever be underestimated based on appearances. Her journey reminded everyone that justice is about fairness, honesty, and standing up for what's right, even when the odds seem stacked against you. As people filed out of the courtroom, conversations buzzed with new ideas and hope for change. Some talked about reforms needed to protect the integrity of the legal system. Others admired the woman's determination to fight back, inspiring many who might have felt powerless before. The judge himself promised to re-examine past cases and to approach his role with renewed fairness and openness. Though the story ended there, the echoes of this day would continue to inspire conversations about justice, truth, and the power of an unexpected voice. It was a reminder that sometimes the most unlikely heroes are the ones who shake up the system and bring light to dark places. In the end, this was more than just a courtroom drama. It was a story about courage, wisdom, and the hope that justice can be truly served when we listen carefully and believe in the strength of truth.